So with that being said, we're going to move on to the next segment, and I'll be sharing my NFC West divisional prediction. So we're heading into week 10. We're at the halfway point of the NFL season. I'll be sharing which team I do believe will win the NFC West. So this is actually a pretty interesting division to pay attention to because all four teams are in the mix. But I do believe that the Los Angeles Rams will be the team to win the NFC West this year. And it's a 4-team race in the NFC West, like I just said. And I think this division is truly wide open. I mean, the Cardinals right now are 5-4. The Rams are 4-4. The 49ers are 4-4. The Seahawks are 4-5. It's a 4-team race all the way to the finish of the NFL regular season right now. But I believe that the Rams will find a way to win the NFC West because they have a healthy Matthew Stafford, a healthy Cooper Kupp, a healthy Puka Nacua, and a healthy Kyron Williams. With all four of these players being a part of this offense with boy genius Sean McVay calling the plays on the sideline, I think they can have a similar second half run that they had last year. If you guys remember, they won a boatload of games in the second half of the season after starting off 3-5 to finish the regular season 9-8 to get themselves in position to make the playoffs. And I think they could go on a second half run like they did last year. And they got a favorable schedule for the second half of the season. I mean, the next 5 games, they play the Dolphins, they play the Patriots, they play the Eagles, and they play on the road against the Saints in their next 4 games. So easily in that stretch of games, obviously, I think the Eagles are going to be the biggest test. But I think in that stretch of games, they can easily go 3-1 in the next 4 games. And the only thing I'm concerned about is their defense. They do have a young defense out there in LA. And their secondary is very suspect to me. But if they play decently, create turnovers, and play the way how they did against the Vikings a few weeks ago, play the way they did against the Seattle Seahawks, where they picked off Geno Smith 3 times, had a 103-yard pick six. I think this team could win the NFC West, and it's not impossible to think that because all 4 teams are in the mix. And I know the popular bet, the popular favorite to win this division is obviously the San Francisco 49ers, but I'll get into the reasons why I do believe that the 3 other teams will not win this division. Now, as good as the San Francisco 49ers have been, they've been to the Super Bowl they've been to the Super Bowl 2 times in this decade of the 2020s alone. As good as they are, I don't think they're going to win this division this year. I mean, they're going through a lot. The injury bug has been a big part of the reason why the 49ers find themselves at 4-4 right now and not at a better record. Brandon Ayuk, their wide receiver, tore his ACL. He's out for the year. Even though he wasn't a difference maker earlier on in the year, Kyle Shanahan, being as smart as he is, calling plays, would have found a way to get Brandon Ayuk more involved in the offense and schemed up plays for him to get going as the season went on. So he's out. Christian McCaffrey is returning to practice this week. I don't know if Christian McCaffrey is truly going to be 100% when he gets back. The window for him to come back is 2 to 3 weeks. I think they're aiming for him to return to 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know. Having those injuries, those bad ankle injuries, I don't know if Christian McCaffrey is going to be 100% this year. Is he really going to be a producer out there in the backfield for running the ball and being an effective pass catcher? So I don't know about that. Dre Greenlaw, their linebacker, has obviously been missing when he got hurt in the Super Bowl, and he's projected to come back for the second half of the NFL season. I don't know if he's going to be 100%. And the defense is not as dominant as it normally is out there in San Francisco this year. So we got to play a factor in all those things. That's the reason why I'm not saying the 49ers are going to miss the playoffs. I'm just saying they will not win the NFC West. And I'm going to remind you guys that the Rams do got to play the 49ers one more time, but the Rams already have the advantage over the 49ers right now. And if they sweep them this year, they would have the tie-breaking rights over the 49ers if it gets down to the wire in the NFC West. So that's something to pay attention for. The Cardinals right now are in first place at 5-4, but I think them being consistent is the reason why I don't believe in this team just yet. And that's a big question mark for this team moving forward, is being consistent. Can you do what you did last week against the Bears again next week? Can you be more consistent out there on an NFL Sundays or anytime you touch an NFL turf? The defense finds themselves being I wouldn't say a non-factor, but the defense could play much better. Having a defensive-minded head coach and Jonathan Gannon, the defense finds themselves at times not getting off the field on third down stops and getting off the field, which leads to the opposing offenses cashing in on opportunities and cashing in on points. The Seahawks, I don't know what's up with this team. They are 4-5. And it makes me so upset watching this team because they underperform with all the talent that they have. This is a really talented team, and they do got a young head coach in Mike McDonald. Did a really good job as a defensive coordinator for the Ravens last year. But I'm not sure, when I watch the Seahawks every Sunday, I don't know what version of the Seahawks I'm going to get. I don't know if I'm going to get that Seahawks team that started off the season 3-0, or I'm going to get the inconsistent Seattle Seahawks team that I'm seeing that after starting off 3-0, they find themselves at 4-5. So I don't know what version or what I should say, what model or what, I don't know what recipe I'm going to get of the Seahawks. Honestly, they might want to consider a quarterback change. And that's a hot take for some, but I'm being serious. Geno Smith has not played up to the level that he did in 2022 when he had that Linsanity, that Jeremy Lin type of comeback to his NFL career, where the reinsurgence of his career, I should say, when he was a former second-round pick with the Jets, bounced around team to team in the league, being a backup for the Giants and Eli Manning, being a backup for Russell Wilson in Seattle. I don't know. I think he's lost his touch. You could tell he's starting to lose confidence in himself. He's having a rough season. He's regressing. The turnovers are a reason why the Seahawks are not cashing in more on points during games. I would really consider a quarterback change and maybe see what Sam Howell can give you. But those are my thoughts on the NFC West, and that is my NFC West predictions, who I believe will win the NFC West for the second half of the NFL season.